sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
On Monday, the 12th of January 2026, you're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, and with us is Lamin J.K. Sanneh. He is the Deputy Administrative Secretary for Social and Fundraising. Many analysts argue that opposition fragmentation, all these different opposition parties coming up and wanting to present candidates, is a major weakness. Do you agree?
Well, yes, fragmentation in anything is not good enough. So unity and strength drives you. We've seen it in 2016, so we cannot hide that. Nobody can dispute that.
Why do you think, you have all these parties springing up? They all come and say, oh no, we see a gap in the opposition. What gaps, is the UDP leaving, seeking to exploit? I mean, you've been there for close to, 30 years?
Yes.
30 years this year?
Yep. Coming back to the opposition. Opposition is, you are a political party here to stay. You're not here for one election. And that's it. We had by-elections. How many people participated in the back election? Grassroots campaign. That's very important for a political party. Now, if you look at the parliament, how many MPs do we have there? And who has the highest number from the opposition? Go to the councils. So our numbers, that's what I was saying, our numbers speak for themselves. So you cannot dispute. All we have to do is, how do we add on to that number? Okay? Now, look at the rest of the other political parties. The newly registered ones have not contested, so I'm not going to have them as part of the pool that I'm looking at. But take the last election. How many parties contested? About 8. You got independent, I think one independent also. Okay? Look at the number they have. The percentage that they have all combined is still short of what we had. Way short of what we had, right? So that tells you the strength of UDP. You can't dispute that. Now, if you come into the fray to say that there's a gap in the politics or that space, I had people say, oh, there are 30% undecided voters that are in the last election, but that is not. It didn't reflect in the vote that they had. It did not reflect. So if you have undecided voters of 30% of the registered voters, at least it should be split among the opposition parties clearly. But you see, we had got about 23-24%. So that means we have upper of that 30% that they're referring to is UDP. So I believe we should come together, and then we should do it in a very honest and sincere way. Say, look, there's nowhere in this world you go into an alliance. The coalition is an alliance of political parties to one objective. Okay? And who leads? It's the majority party opposition who leads everywhere. So I don't understand why here it should be different. The MPP today, they have a grand coalition. Who is heading the grand coalition? NPP. So if the opposition is coming together also, you should look at which of the opposition parties has the highest and the strongest base.
Okay. So the UDP is unambiguous about, leadership of what is called a grand opposition coalition.
No, I've said it. We are very open to discussions, okay? But the parameters and the base of that should be very clear. Standard is standard everywhere. So you cannot say we are going into a coalition, but we don't want UDP to lead. And you say, from the meetings I hear, somebody said, without UDP there cannot be any grand coalition to remove the president. So 23% of the vote, you want that person to step aside. For who? That's my question. For who? Now, are you saying the leadership of that party is not qualified to run? And you said that party has 23%, and you said that party, without them, you cannot win the election as a coalition. So what are you telling us? I think we need to be honest to each other and look at these things and say, look clearly, okay, what are the parameters? What are you bringing to the table? That's a point of strength. Rather than saying that we are not going to go with a party-led, it's a point of weakness. Because the argument does not hold. Because if UDP says, okay, we can also make that argument that we're not going to go to any talks, but we don't do that. We say, look, let's sit and discuss.
So the general feeling is, without a coalition, Barrow is there, beyond 20.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
You don't agree?
No,
Why?
no. I think Barrow can be removed. Barrow can be removed.
By UDP alone?
We should be, yeah.
The UDP does not need to go into a coalition?
No, I'm not saying we don't need to go into a coalition. What I'm saying is we need to come together.
It does not have to go to a coalition to remove Barrow.
It's not a desperate position that we have to do this to no.
Okay.
Because the point I'm making is, if the others say no? Are we not going to do the elections? We have to go to elections. So we are preparing for any. If we agree as a coalition, we are ready. If there's no agreement, I know we will have parties joining us. I'm telling you, we'll have a coalition.
You will have a coalition?
Yeah, there are parties willing to talk to us.
UDP will have other parties coming on board?
Yes, we are talking. Okay. It's not like it's closed. We are talking. Our representatives are going to the meetings. So we'll find a solution. That's why I said we need to sit down and discuss and find a solution.
Well, I'm not sure how much you're willing to share of that information.
But it's not a secret. Okay. There's a coalition discussion going on.
Okay. And what's the process like, trying to build trust among, the opposition?
That's the key word. That's the key word. Trust. So we need to sit down and look at each other and say, look, guys, what's the way forward? And I believe that it's not a challenge for us because we have always extended our hand. Remember 2021? We had people who joined us, and there was no issue of trust. They believed that we had the best agenda, we had the best policies, and they joined us and campaigned with us throughout the country. And I believe we'll have more coming on this. In our last rally, we invited them. They turned up. So about 4 or 5 political parties that turned up into the send representatives to come to the party. I think 2 or 3 of them spoke at the rally. That shows you we're extending our hand. We're not saying, no. Come on, let's sit down. I mean, recently in Senegal, you saw what happened. Everybody dumped and went to the Jumai coalition. And everybody gets a ministerial position or whatever. Yes, it's agreed, and then that's the way it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, a party, once it gets into government, is very easy to absorb, other parties. All right? But the question is, while you're still in opposition, with everybody believing that, they have the biggest chances of unseating the incumbent, that's where it becomes difficult. And that's what we are seeing increasingly here.
But I don't understand. You have no run any grassroots election like this. This would have been a good first.
Yes.
Yes.
I get your point.
Yes. But
usually all this clamor is only around presidential.
Exactly.
When we get to National Assembly elections, as you say, others just dissolve into.
And you want to look, independent candidates that won elections have a backing of a biggest opposition party. Let's go back to 2016. Barrow is for where? UDP. It's a fact, right? So you have to have that biggest coalition supporting the candidate. Either it comes from them or they agree that, okay, Peter is a better qualified person, let's back him. Put our weight behind Peter. But historically, is the biggest opposition party that
okay, so the other opposition party should wake up to the reality, and the reality is the biggest opposition party should naturally lead any opposition coalition.
That's the norm everywhere. I don't see anywhere they say, okay, we're stepping back, or unless if, in quote, something happens that they don't have anybody, which is, I don't think that's the case. Okay? So we need to sit down together and say, look, what is the objective here? We all have a common objective to fix this country. Okay, who has the best policies? You have the best policies. Okay, we'll align with this, we align with this finance, this health, we put it together. Now, the opposition parties, who has the numbers? Politics is numbers. It's numbers.
Okay, and help me explain, this thing about a candidate being, winnable or electable, because that's the argument, that unfortunately your party leader is not a winnable candidate or an electable candidate.
And I ask this question, what is the definition of a winnable candidate or electable candidate? I keep asking that question because if you tell me UDP has the best policies, they have the numbers, okay? And they have brains that can fix this country.
You hear all this.
Exactly. And who leads that team? Is not good enough to put that team. And he put that team together. And that policy they are talking about, he is chairman of that policy committee. And you're telling me he's not good enough. So something is wrong somewhere, right? Honestly, something is wrong somewhere. If you tell me, okay, he is not good enough because your policies are wrong, but you can't tell me you have the best policies, you have the best team, you have the numbers in terms of opposition, you are the second biggest party here in terms of numbers, in terms of seats in parliament, in terms of the local government, and the leader of that is not good enough. That's a big question mark. That's what I keep saying, that give me a definition.
So what does the party need to do to dispel, this, again, I'm sure you would call it a myth, well, that Usain Dabo cannot win elections? Yes, you may like this about the UDP, like that about the UDP, like everything, if you like, about the UDP, save its leadership, okay. its leader.
So let me go back to the scenario of numbers again. After the presidential election, we had parliamentary, we had the popular vote under Usain Dabo's leadership. So assuming that if the parliamentary system was in place, we would have been in government. If we go by the parliamentary numbers, right? We go to the local government elections again. So again, the election of presidential 2021 has a lot of things. That's why we challenge it in court. Okay? So I'm not saying that we have the numbers, but what I'm saying is that you cannot say somebody is not winnable or is not a winning candidate when he contests in other elections, his party does very, very well. So I don't understand that. Because if you say it's a leader, he leads the whole team. He's head of the party. So everything that happens with the party, he's leading that. Now you cannot isolate him or say, okay, he's not good enough for this, but he's not good. It doesn't add up. What I will accept that they need to say, okay, Usainu is this, Usainu is this. I keep asking the same question. The presidency is not a boxing. It's not a boxing activity or so. It's not a wrestling. So it's not a power thing. It's a brain job. You must have the capacity, the passion, and the intent to lead the country. Because it's a heavy job.
All three of which he has.
He has, and it's a difficult job. Remember, I was very close to the president during the OIC time. I know what he goes through. I've seen it. I was there for 18 months, so I know it. I've seen it in action, and I see how stressful he gets sometimes.
So when he makes mistakes, when people like me don't understand, you understand.
I understand because he's a human being also.
Okay.
And the presidency is not only him. He has advisors, he has ministers. They're all involved. So if he makes mistake, probably it's not him alone. Because the presidency is not only him. So we have to understand the power play in certain things. And to be honest, Peter, we need to be honest to ourselves and say, look, guys,
what's being honest to ourselves?
Look, the reality, the facts. And stop talking about winnable candidate, non-winnable candidate.
What are the facts?
Look, who has the biggest number of supporters apart from MPP, which is an incumbent government? It's UDP. And who has been leading this party to grow? This party has grown. From where? When we started? How many MPs for the first election? We are the first opposition party that had more than 5 MPs in this country in 1997. Under whose leadership? Mr. Dabo. Yes, he did it, but the election was very tight. Okay? Under dictatorship, all the things. So there are a lot of things that are involved in elections. To just say, oh, he's not a winnable candidate because he's tried multiple times. It's not. Abdullah Wada did it multiple times and finally he won. So I don't think that's an excuse.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the roadmap between now and the presidential election as far as the UDP is concerned?
We continue our grassroots project. You know, we've been very active. We are not a political party that waits for elections. We have our structures. So we lost in Kiang. We start this morning again. So the fight continues and the outreach programs continue. We have a whole year program. We develop a year program every year. So it's not like we do activities based on ad hoc. No. We have a master plan for a year. From January to December, both the organizing committee, the campaign committees, and the grassroots politics that we do, the activities we do, is part of the whole activity plan, which is approved by the executive every year. And then that's what we roll out. And this year is election year. There will be more activities.
And what issues will define the UDP's campaign ahead of 2020, ahead of December?
Policy. I mean, communicating our policy very clearly in all the languages, engaging and explaining it in detail to the grassroots, engaging the youths and the women.
Policy on which issues mainly? Because there are so many issues.
We can't deal with all the issues.
Exactly. So which ones do you prioritize?
So health is very important for us.
Oh, the NPP will say we're doing marvelous in health.
Go to the hospital, so you answer. You find for yourself. Okay, health is one issue. Okay, the cost of living, job.
I just told you that rice is cheaper now.
Well, Peter, we go to the market today. If you don't spend 1,500, you will not have a proper meal. A family size of 7, 8, you have to. How many people earn $45,000 this year in terms of pay? School fees is not included. Transport is not included. Cash power on your own.
For you, that's the living wage.
Yeah, that's the living wage. So,
45.
No, I'm just saying, yes, you need minimum to survive properly.
Okay.
Now, you see people parking their cars at Westfield taking a van to go to work because they cannot afford driving to Banjul. Okay. Youth employment, women empowerment, those are key, and agriculture. Those are key areas. In that whole circle of 5 key areas, import substitution is very key for us because we need to deal with the Dalasi. We need to deal with the Dalasi. We can't live with the Dalasi. So to support the Dalasi, we need to import substitute. And to make that import substitution will create jobs in terms of whether it's rice production, cotton production, even the hibiscus, which is a very big business in the Arab world where I live. So these are areas that we want to invest our time and resources. When we come to power, we will have to create industries to create jobs for the youths and the women.
Were you at the Stake in the Nation forum this past one at the weekend?
No, I wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
I was campaigning in the last days of campaign.
Because the diaspora is key to this country. But when we speak of diaspora, we usually only see it from one perspective, the monies that they are remitting back
and that's not fair.
To
that's not
this
fair.
country.
I think that's not fair.
What's the UDP's position on working with the diaspora, and especially on the issue of the diaspora still being
First, we're going to make sure and get their vote. They participate in the electoral process. You cannot use somebody's spouse and he has no say. You have to bring them on board. We'll make sure that they vote in the elections. How we're going to do that? Countries are doing it. Recently, Guinea-Conakry, they voted in Dubai. Bissau, people are voting.
Yes.
So we should be able to allow our people, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to vote. That's number one. And number two, we'll have to have an investment window for some of them to be able to have houses here, because they go through a lot.
Yes.
They go through a lot in terms of paperwork and all that thing, and they come here, they. We need to find a way to support them to be able to invest in a structure where they can see their investments growing, build their houses without the challenges that they're facing. Land issues, they have a lot of issues with land, which is common to everybody. So
hopefully this new land policy, the first ever, will address those issues.
Well, let's hope.
Have you seen the policy yet?
Not yet, but let's hope. If it's not the best, it will evolve with time. We will look at it when we get to government to make it better. Things evolve. You can't say that, oh, it's not good enough and throw it away. So you have to take the best out of it and add what you think is good and it will have to be a consultative one also. We need to get everybody, all the stakeholders on board to look at it and make sure that there's a high level of acceptance.
Okay. All right. The diaspora is very crucial to your
and
party.
That's why we're pushing for that constitution, the 2020 constitution, to come back. That's what we will work on, to bring it back, to give them the support that they need. That constitution is something that we need to bring back as a nation and push it forward, because it will evolve with time. Yes, it's not perfect, but I think it's better than what we have, far better than what we have, because it was consultative. Everybody participated in it. So we need to bring it back and ask the people to vote on it.
Well, the NPP said they brought literally back.
They did not. They did not. It's how many hundreds of changes. That's not what. If they had brought, if they had brought it back, it would have gone to the next stage. Simple as that. If they had brought it, we asked for them in 2020. Let's have this discussion. Go to committee. They refused. They refused. And now they brought one that they went and butchered and did everything to it and want us to ask. No, it's not going to happen. Gambians will not forgive us if we have done that as a party.
Still on the issue of the diaspora is very crucial to
it's very important.
The UDP in particular. Apart from giving them the vote, what about having them, in key public offices? Because right now that's not possible.
Well,
there's a reason.
No. Look, Peter, we are Gambians. We have to go for competence. Period. That's my point. I don't joke with that. When I hire on competence. I don't hire on sentiment. I will help you where you're good at. But if it comes to telecom, I'll look for the best. We have this, I don't know whether you remember about the OIC hotel, when I told you guys that we're going to get Gambians to run the hotel. We have Gambians running big hotels in America and Europe, the banqueting. Okay? There was a guy called something Cisse in Atlanta. I think he's Sompo's brother, who was running one of the biggest banquet hall in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta. I spoke to him that this is what we're doing. We'll be interested for you to come and help us develop the capacity because you have the experience and the exposure. It's the standards we are looking for. So yes, we will bring the best of the Gambians around this country, but that's what we want.
To be ministers and
whatever qualifications they have, whatever positions, yes, they have the competence. Look, we cannot sit back. You know, one thing I always say, yes, I'm a Gambian, okay, but what I've been exposed to is not local. And there are people out there far ahead of me, and they want to participate. I speak to a lot of them. Come home and help. The pay is not something that you have to look at.
It's not always about pay.
I did the OIC for zero. I never collected a penny. I was not paid.
You're itching to talk about the OIC. I mean,
no, but I'm giving reference. It's a reference.
Yes. What happened? Why did you lose your job in the OIC?
I never lost my job.
Okay, so what happened?
I resigned.
What made you resign? What made you resign?
On principle.
What made you resign? What didn't
same
you
reasons you left Radio Gambia.
No, I was sacked.
Well, I was not sacked.
I was sacked. They're two different,
I was not sacked. I decided to leave because I thought the way we were going, we left the route because we had a clear plan and we were not going through that plan. And I was not going to change my stance on those things, and I left.
Oh, the road should have been a lot better than we are seeing
Not the road, but the roadmap we had for the whole project. Well, yes, we were not keeping to that.
And
and it started when we had money. When we didn't have money, I was left alone to do my job.
So by the time the money started coming, that was when the issue started.
Yeah, we started having issues.
And what about the hotel you were speaking about?
Well, it's still there. I'm still waiting. Nothing has been done. Probably it's land banking, in my view, because it was supposed to be done. It's not done.
Okay. Well, whether this was done or not, we ultimately hosted the summit. Yeah. Would you say that was a successful summit, as the government insists it was?
Well, the master plan we had, the summit success was not based on hosting only summit. There were a lot of investments that were coming into the country. So my parameters were based on what Gambia will get from the summit, not only hosting the summit. Okay, where most of the 90% of seniors didn't turn up. So for me, the summit itself was not a success because you cannot host a OIC summit with less than quorum in terms of head of states and stuff. So I'm not going to dodge into that meeting because that's a meeting. My objective was for this country to be transformed, get water improvement services, electricity, the road network, and develop the tourism sector, change this country into a MICE country, international conference destination, which will continue with creating jobs for the youths and women, like the horticulture, supply chain to the hotels and stuff like that, because conferences come with food, refreshment and stuff, and those ones have to be locally made. So that was my whole idea, to build a value chain and stuff for this country.
And, well, they could still investment in water, in improvement, enhancement.
But I did that. I did that. So that was under me. The water, electricity, everything was under me. These roads you're talking about is me. I did that.
Okay.
Okay. The funding was all ratified. I took into the parliament, get everything done. So the only part that I did not do, which they took a loan for, was the battle hiding.
Should they have taken a loan?
No,
if you had been there, would the loan have been necessary?
No, because we had pledges to do the road. We just have to follow up. Even the vehicles, if I was there, we would not buy vehicles because I had pledges from the Saudis.
The 100,
yes.
They would say 80 vehicles.
Well, I don't know how many came, but we didn't have need to buy vehicles because there were opportunities, pledges from meetings that were held.
And if you had stayed, would that have improved the chances of, the big guns who stayed behind coming?
Yes, they would have come. Because what we were dealing with, they were very happy. The approach we took and what I was doing and the way I was selling Gambia and relating the development of economic, creating jobs and so to the summit really was something that when I met most of the head of states I met, they bought into the idea. That's why they pledged to support us. But when
so why did they not apply pressure on Banjul to keep you? It doesn't matter how difficult it was, for you and them to work.
It was difficult.
Just in the input.
It happened. I just hold my ground.
What happened?
I didn't want to continue doing it.
They tried to put pressure on Banjul to retain
Well, they
you.
did not, on me. There were a lot of calls, a lot of approach meetings were held. Some even came to see me to say, look, Lamin, you have to come back, let's do that. But it was all I'll accept to come back. And I was saying, no, the train has left the station. Maybe another project. but not this one.
Okay. Well, listen, I am sure your colleague has arrived. Finally, what message do you want to send to Gambians listening today about the future, the chances of the UDP ahead of the December poll?
Look, politics is all about hope. Okay? Our job is to sell that to Gambians that we have the capacity, we have the passion, we have the intent, we have the exposure, we have the network to fix this country. Let's come together and stop this politics of insult and accusing each other. Let's sit around the table. What best do we have for Gambia? How best can we fix our country? We will find an agreement. Who is best suited to lead? We'll have an agreement on that. And whatever you are best in, you get that position and we move on. This country needs help. We need to move on. We can't be just going back every time complaining about it's not taking us anywhere. We need to find a way, a window to sit together. And that's why I keep saying that the seniors should sit together and discuss. We are too junior to dictate certain things. There are seniors in this country. They should come together and engage and find the best way forward for this country. Gambia has a huge potential. But look, Kivat is overtaking us. A small Kivat that used to come here to buy everything. What happened to our re-export trade?
Oh, they say nothing's wrong with it. It's just happening.
How many trucks that used to park Wellington, Lima, and Hagan Street a day crossing to go? Today go, you will count. All those shops are virtually closed. How many people crossing from Senegal to come shop here? The investment in our port. Why can't our port be one of the most efficient in the sub-region? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. But there are a lot of things that we can do. It's happened. Now let's look forward. How can we fix going forward? Let's come together. We have the talent. We have the talent pool. We have the network. All we have to do is to agree that this is the way forward, and we all put our efforts together. Just to thank everybody, our listeners as well, and to say thank you to you for finally having me.
I was going to ask one more question, but
go ahead.
No, I'll save it for another. I'm sure to come back. No, I was going to ask whether you see 2026 as the last chance for the Gambian voter to benefit from what Ousainou Darboe has always promised. 30 years he's promised, I will do this for you, I will do that for you, I will do this for you, which the others, from his point of view, are yet to do. Yeah, but would you say 2026 is the last?
Well, he said that this is his last, and if he wins, he will serve only one term. He made that very, very clear, right? But Peter, there is nothing happening today that Ousainou has not spoken about in the past. He talked about the cost of living, our depleting resources, healthcare, failing us. He talked about all these things how many years, and he's still having it. He's still there. So probably it's about time that we look around and say, let's give him a chance and see what he can do, because we've given him other chances. So let's also try him and see what he has to offer. If he cannot, 30-31, we take him out. This is a fair game. Yeah. It's happening everywhere now. So we need to come up that political level up to that stage. We need to.
Lamin, you have to come back here.
I will, sure. I will come back.
Stop running around, going to other countries. Stay here so that whenever you
I have to walk. I have a job to do, but I'll take the opportunity every time I'm around to come and we can talk about
These days people work from home, so start working from home.
And unfortunately, my job, I can't work from home.
You cannot?
No, I have to be present in meetings and project sites and negotiations and physical. So that's the danger. Most of the things I do on email, the office in Dubai does it, but when it comes to physical meetings, visiting sites, talking about negotiating, I have to be present because I act on client mandate, so I have to be present. But I promise that I will come back because this is election year. We need to start talking about our policies in detail. So if you create time for us, we will. No, I'm sure. In Wolof and Mandinka, English, and any other language.
Mandinka, Aji will take care of you.
So that's my plan this year, and I promise you that I will make it easy for him. That I will create time anytime I visit Gambia. I will make myself.
Thanks for coming. Seho is waiting, so let's not keep him waiting.
It's a pleasure, Peter. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
We've not seen for a long time.
Ages, man. Maybe I should get into politics myself.
Still somebody in Liverpool, right?
Always hold it up.
Good,
we're
good.
coming.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's coffee time with
pleasure.
Peter Gomez. Grateful thanks to Lamin Sanneh.
Vive la fe. Sant Yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokk dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.